and welcome to Fast and Factual. I'm Utsaf Parekh and I'll take you through the top 50 stories of the day. Let's begin. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has said that his country has begun receiving Russian tactical nuclear weapons. He said some of these weapons are 3 times more powerful than the atomic bombs that the US dropped on Japan's Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. The US and its allies are closely monitoring the situation. Lukashenko is a close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Putin earlier said that Russia will retain control of the nuclear weapons placed in Belarus. Russian President Vladimir Putin blamed Ukraine for the breach of the Kakhovka Dam last week. Putin claimed that Ukraine's armed forces used US-made HIMARS rocket systems to strike the dam. He added that rescue efforts were underway in the flooded regions of Kherson that are currently under Russian control. Putin also said that Moscow was considering withdrawing from the Black Sea grain deal. He said that the Western nations had cheated Russia by not giving Moscow access to wider global markets. The grain deal is a 3-year accord under which UN officials agreed to help Russia and Ukraine export their food and fertilizers. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has hailed the advances made by his troops in the war's eastern and southern fronts. He added that Ukrainian troops had advanced near the war-torn city of Bakhmut. He thanked the soldiers for their bravery. Zelensky also condemned the Russian missile attack on the city of Kryvyi Rih. At least 11 people were killed while several others were wounded in the attack. A fire broke out near a business center and a warehouse of a retail chain in Ukraine's Odesa. The fire was allegedly caused by a Russian missile attack. Officials say air defense forces shot down 2 missiles over the city. The International Atomic Energy Agency's chief, Rafael Grossi, met Zelensky in Kyiv on Tuesday. The 2 leaders discussed the safety of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which is currently under Russian control. Grossi then traveled to the Zaporizhzhia plant to inspect any damage that may have been sustained due to floodwaters from the destroyed Kakhovka Dam. Former US President Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty to federal criminal charges. He's been accused of unlawfully keeping national security documents after he left the White House. During a rally in New Jersey, Trump said he had every right to keep these documents. Trump also called US President Joe Biden corrupt. He accused Biden of undermining democracy with, quote-unquote, evil and heinous federal charges. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will begin his official visit to the US on the 21st of June. After celebrating Yoga Day in New York, the Indian Prime Minister will head to Washington, D.C. He will address the US Congress on invitation by US President Joe Biden. The Indian Prime Minister will also hold bilateral talks with US Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi has arrived in the Central American nation of Nicaragua. This is the second stop in his 3-nation tour through Latin America. Earlier, Raisi had visited Venezuela. There he pledged to increase bilateral trade from $3 billion to $20 billion. Raisi's next stop is Cuba. Police in Japan have arrested an 18-year-old soldier who shot and killed 2 instructors at a military firing range. This is the first fatal shooting at one of Japan's firing ranges since the 1980s. Shooting incidents are extremely rare in Japan. This is because gun ownership is tightly regulated in the country. The UK police has arrested a man who is suspected of murdering 3 people in the English city of Nottingham. 2 of those killed were students from the city's university. British police arrested the 31-year-old suspect after locking down the city. The detectives say that they are not looking for any other suspects. China's Foreign Minister Qin Gang met his Palestinian counterpart Riyad Al-Maliki in Beijing on Tuesday. Al-Maliki is accompanying the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas on his state visit to China from June 13th to 16th. During the bilateral meeting, Qin Gang said that China supported Palestine's cause to restore their legitimate national rights. Al-Maliki said that Palestine firmly abides by the one-child China policy. Canada is experiencing its worst wildfire season of the 21st century. This is according to Canada's Minister of Emergency Preparedness, Bill Blair. Data shows that more than 400 active wildfires are burning across the country. Out of these, more than 200 are out of control. Experts say that the worst is yet to come, as the wildfire season in Canada usually begins in May and lasts till October. Wildfires are also burning in parts of France. Over 70 acres of land have already been scorched. The fire brigade and water bombing helicopters have been deployed to keep the situation under control. The US Special Climate Envoy John Kerry has said that the climate crisis is one of the top security threats to the planet. He added that the world needs to be more aggressive in reducing its reliance on coal and other fossil fuels. Kerry further stated that there is no time for procrastination. The United States is the world's second biggest emitter of greenhouse gases after China.
It's beautiful.
Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg spoke at the COP28 preparatory conference in the city of Bonn in Germany. She said that humanity needs to act on the climate crisis now, or it faces a death sentence. Thunberg accused world leaders of taking action only in their own interests. The COP28 climate summit will be held in Dubai in December this year. The Indian state of Gujarat is bracing for cyclone Biparjoy to make landfall. Thousands of people have been evacuated. Cyclone Biparjoy is a very severe cyclonic storm and is expected to make landfall on Thursday. 8 districts in coastal Gujarat are likely to be affected. Argentina and the European Union have signed a memorandum of understanding. It aims to boost cooperation on sustainable raw materials, including lithium. Argentina is the 4th largest producer of lithium in the world. Argentina, along with Chile and Bolivia, make South America's so-called lithium triangle. Activists continue to criticize the Japanese government's decision to release nuclear wastewater from the Fukushima nuclear power plant into the ocean. They say that the move will bring havoc to the entire region. Local residents have been protesting against the decision for the last 2 years. They say that reconstruction and revitalization operations carried out by local authorities have not fundamentally solved the problem. Hundreds of thousands of locusts have descended on crops in northern Afghanistan. This comes at a time when farmers in the country are already threatened with famine. Locusts have now laid eggs that will hatch in the next spring season. This will continue a cycle of crop destruction. According to the United Nations, 9 out of 10 families in Afghanistan are struggling to afford food. US-based online retailer Overstock.com will buy some assets of Bed Bath & Beyond. The bankrupt home goods retailer will be paid $21.5 million for these assets. This includes Bed Bath & Beyond's intellectual property, business data, and mobile application rights. Overstock will also take up certain liabilities of the insolvent company as part of the deal. Computer accessories maker Logitech has said that its CEO, Bracken Darrell, is leaving the company. His resignation comes with immediate effect. The company added that board member Guy Getch would step in as the interim CEO. Logitech shares fell nearly 9% on the news. Hong Kong is advancing towards a regulatory framework for stablecoins. It aims to introduce the set of rules by the end of 2024. Stablecoins are a type of cryptocurrency whose values are tied to traditional financial assets. They're considered to be a better transactional alternative to the highly volatile Bitcoin. Amazon's cloud services were hit by a major disruption on Tuesday. More than 12,000 cases of outages were reported throughout the day. This affected various businesses, including the website of the New York Metropolitan Transportation Authority. Hours later, Amazon confirmed that the issue was resolved. Financial firm HSBC is seeking to become a prime lender for venture capital firms and startups globally. The bank already lends to startup companies in India. It will now expand its focus to Singapore. HSBC's move comes despite slowing activity in the venture capital sector. This is due to the uncertain economic outlook. Music streaming giant Spotify has been fined $5.4 million. This is for allegedly breaching the European Union's data protection rules. Spotify was accused of failing to provide adequate information about the data it collects to execute individual requests. This comes more than 4 years after the complaint was filed in 2019. Ireland-based technology company Accenture will expand its artificial intelligence operations. It'll invest $3 billion in the AI business over 3 years. The company plans to hire more people, train existing employees, and buy other companies. Accenture says that it will have 80,000 people working on AI. However, it did not specify when it would hit that number. Google has delayed the launch of its generative AI chatbot in the European Union. This is after the Irish data protection regulator said that the chatbot Bard does not adhere to the EU's data laws. Google was due to release Bard this week. However, it's now unclear when the AI chatbot will be launched in the region. A US court has temporarily blocked Microsoft's acquisition of video game maker Activision Blizzard. Without a court order, Microsoft could have closed the $69 billion purchase as early as Friday. Earlier this week, the US antitrust regulator had asked a judge to block the deal. The watchdog argues that it could hamper competition in the video game sector. South Korean conglomerate Samsung will give its staff one Friday off each month. Starting next week, full-time staff can take the day off in the period they get paychecks. This move is a retention strategy as more employees seek hybrid working conditions. Moving to sports. In cricket, New Zealand have suffered a blow before the Cricket World Cup. Kiwi all-rounder Michael Bracewell has suffered an injury to his right Achilles. He will now have to undergo surgery. He has been ruled out from New Zealand's squad for at least a year. The Cricket World Cup will be played in India this October. In football, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz marked Euro 2024's one-year-to-go milestone. He unveiled the tournament slogan, "Home Game for Europe." Germany will host next year's Euro Cup from the 14th of June to the 14th of July. The matches will be played across 10 cities. Scholz has promised that no new stadiums will be built in a push towards sustainability. Barcelona's exit-bound captain Jordi Alba is in talks with Major League Soccer club Inter Miami. This comes after Alba announced his departure from Barca after 11 years. Meanwhile, he's also received offers from at least 2 Saudi Pro League clubs. However, the 34-year-old Spaniard has hinted that he would prefer the move to Miami. This means that Alba could potentially join his former Barca teammate Lionel Messi. Speaking of Messi, the Argentine legend has confirmed that he will not play in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. During a press conference on Tuesday, he said that the 2022 Qatar tournament was his last. He said he won't go to the next cup. In badminton, India's Shrikant Kidambi entered the pre-quarterfinal at the Indonesia Open. He beat China's Guang Lu 21-13, 21-19 in straight sets. 22-ranked Kidambi has now beaten China's Lu 5-0 in their head-to-head matchups. Meanwhile, India's Lakshya Sen also advanced at the Indonesia Open. He beat Malaysia's Jia Lee 21-17, 21-13 in a match that lasted just 13 minutes. Sen will now face his Indian counterpart Shrikant Kidambi in the next round. In squash, India thrashed Hong Kong 4-0 at this year's World Cup. The tournament is being held in the southern Indian city of Chennai. 32 players from 8 countries are participating in this year's championship. These include squash heavyweights Japan, Malaysia, South Africa and the hosts India, among others. Indian archer Aditi Gopichand Swamy broke the under-18 women's compound record at the World Cup. The third stage of the Archery World Cup is being held in the Latin American country of Colombia. Swamy shot a score of 711 points out of 720. She broke the previous record of 705 points. Swamy fell short by just 2 points to break the senior record of 713. In ice hockey, America's National Hockey League, or NHL, had its final match of the season on Tuesday. The Vegas Golden Knights beat Florida Panthers to script history at the NHL. Vegas crushed Florida 9-3 to win their maiden Stanley Cup. A Japanese wrestler has moved to the West African country of Senegal. Shogu Ozumi is in Senegal to learn Laman, an ancient martial art. Lam is a combination of physical combat and aerobatics. To thank Senegal, Uzumi has opened a wrestling academy where he's training over 30 students for the 2026 Youth Olympics. Now onto the world of entertainment. UK rapper J Hus and rap star Drake have teamed up for the first time with their new single, Who Told You? It's produced by longtime WizKid executive producer P2J and has an Afrobeats feel tailored for summertime vibes. The single sees Drake return to the smooth and tropical sounds he last explored on 2021's Certified Lover Boy. Singer-songwriter Paul McCartney has said that the last Beatles song will be released. This will be a new song created using artificial intelligence. The song will feature the voice of late singer John Lennon. Lennon was fatally shot outside his New York apartment building in December 1980. The iconic psychedelic blues band broke up more than 50 years ago. The Recording Academy has announced that the 66th Annual Grammy Awards will have 3 new categories. The categories are Best African Music Performance, Best Alternative Jazz Album, and Best Pop Dance Recording. The changes were voted on and passed at the Academy's Board of Trustees meeting last month. The 66th Grammys now has 94 categories and will air live in early 2024. Singer Selena Gomez has teased her new song with photos from her recording studio. The singer shared 5 images on Instagram from a recording studio in Paris. The post had a caption, "Don't worry guys, it's coming even from Paris." The teaser comes after Gomez said in an interview that she's recording new music and working on her 4th studio album. Disney's live-action Moana, starring Dwayne Johnson, will now release on the 5th of June 2025. The development comes as some features halted production due to the ongoing Writers Guild of America strike. The movie was initially supposed to release on July 7th, 2025. Dwayne Johnson confirmed the project along with him reprising the role during Disney's 2023 annual meeting of shareholders earlier this year. Disney has changed the release dates for sequels of Avatar, Avengers, and Star Wars. James Cameron's much-awaited Avatar 3 is now set to release on December 19th, 2025. Meanwhile, Disney has also pushed back the release date for Avengers Kang Dynasty by a year to May 2026. Star Wars fans will also have to wait for the next two installments in the franchise. They're now scheduled to release in December 2025 and December 2026. Filmmaker Sarah Polley is in negotiations to tackle Disney's live-action remake of 1942 animated classic Bambi. The original movie chronicled the story of a young faun named Bambi as he learns his place in the forest. Polley is best known for her 2022 drama Women Talkin'. The film earned her the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay earlier this year. DreamWorks Animation has announced its animated film Orion and the Dark. The film is penned by Charlie Kaufman and it will come to Netflix in 2024. The story follows Orion, an anxious young boy voiced by Jacob Tremblay, who's afraid of the dark. The feature is based on the book by Emma Yarlett. The announcement has been made during a session at France's Annecy Animation Festival on Tuesday. Emmy-winning host Stephen Colbert has extended his contract with The Late Show by 3 more years, all the way on through 2026. His contract with CBS was set to expire this year. CBS CEO George Cheeks revealed the extension during Canada's Banff World Media Festival on Tuesday. A Los Angeles court has delayed sentencing for rapper Tory Lanez. He was convicted of shooting hip-hop artist Megan Thee Stallion in 2020. Lanez was convicted on 3 charges connected to the shooting that injured Megan Thee Stallion in the foot in December 2022. Megan Thee Stallion won a Grammy Award for Best New Artist in 2021. She's best known for her song Savage. That's all for this edition of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.